And finally tonight, our Persons of the Week. It is a story that began almost 65 years ago in the darkest days of World War II. Yet this week, a new chapter unfolded, an unforgettable reunion of Holocaust survivors and the American troops who freed them, and all made possible by a high school history class.
This is history coming alive.
Here we are, we have arrived.
This is walking, talking, living history. They're shaking hands with the past.
It was 2001 when high school history teacher Matt Roselle decided to begin an oral history project. He and his students would just interview family members in the small town of Hudson Falls, New York, to capture fading stories of World War II.
Did you mention the train at all, just before?
No, I didn't tell them about the train.
The students unearthed a forgotten crossroads in history. Near the very end of World War II, April 13, 1945, the American 30th Infantry Division was pushing its way into central Germany.
We came to a place where there was a long train, a boxcar.
They found a train holding nearly 2,500 emaciated Jewish prisoners, many just children.
This is Belsen,
being moved from the Bergen Belsen concentration camp to another camp and certain death. Their German guards had just abandoned them, fleeing the Americans.
A feeling of helplessness. What are we going to do with all these people?
We had never, ever seen anything so filthy.
The American soldiers fed the prisoners and brought them to safety.
For 42 years, I collected anything that I could to try to find any article regarding the train. It just didn't exist.
But Mr. Roselle's class put their interviews with veterans up on a website, along with these photographs taken by the American soldiers.
Just very courageous people. Little girls with the big smiles on their faces, woman with her arms out, just aware that the Americans are there.
Out there on the web, Holocaust survivors all around the world began to notice.
How many people will have a picture of their moment of liberation forever?
A reunion of survivors and their liberators took place this week at Hudson Falls High School.
When they speak to us, you can't say that you feel how they felt, but you get the feeling. You feel like you were there.
In an age where there are still those who deny the Holocaust ever existed, these survivors say they are the living proof.
It's not for my sake, it's the sake of humanity that they will remember.
And so we choose history teacher Matt Roselle, his class, the Holocaust survivors of that train, and those American soldiers who kept them and their story alive. And that is World News for this Friday. I'm Diane Sawyer. For Charlie Gibson and all of us at ABC News, we hope you have a great weekend.